daily soccer podcast with the Global Sports Podcast Network.
Hello, you are listening to the Daily Liverpool and... we're going again! We're going again!
Run it back!
Your daily soccer podcast with the Global Sports Podcast Network.
And that's enough of that. Let's try that again. You are listening to the Daily Liverpool and Daily Arsenal podcasts on the Global Sports Podcast Network. My name is Louie, Easton, and I am joined by Jesse Sarwar from the Liverpool Corner. Great to see you once again, Jesse.
Once again, yeah, I'm sick of the sight of you, mate.
It's
good to be here. Good to be with the Arsenal guys. I've got my studs on, and
going straight Didi Hamann for this one.
Yeah, two-footed, mate, two-footed.
Yes, and joining us from the Arsenal Corner, Jamie, Rodney, and Craig. So you guys technically are meant to have the advantage on this one, but great to have you here again. The last time I spoke to you guys, in fact, this is my first time seeing you, Rodney. Great to meet you. I'm sure this relationship will last quite a short amount of time as we talk about this. And the last time I spoke to Jamie, I believe, was when Arsenal beat Real Madrid in the Champions League.
Yes,
and,
it was.
It was the Declan Rice day, wasn't it?
That day still lives with me.
Yeah, well, we've got Real Madrid. Hopefully we can batter them, as we discussed earlier in the Daily Liverpool. So, we have got a great episode planned for you today because we are going to be doing a combined 11. Then we'll focus on Arsenal. Then we'll focus on Liverpool. And then I'm sure there'll be fire. There'll be venom spat at each other during this. And to be honest, I kind of just want to go straight in. Are you guys all right with that? Straight into the combined 11?
Let's do it, because I've been looking forward to this.
Because I have seen a lot of debate online, and now we're here to sort of settle that. So let's get straight in. I'm going straight in first. Alisson. I think that's pretty nailed on. I mean,
okay, let's move on to now the right back position.
Yeah. Okay.
Position done. Okay.
Go on. Sorry. Did any of you want to dispute that?
I mean,
unfortunately, not actually.
There's really no argument here, is there?
No.
Next.
Yeah, I'll give it to Alisson.
Do you guys think he's the best goalkeeper in the world? Actually.
Ooh,
in the world.
Because it's, as Liverpool fans, Jesse will agree with me here. We watch him every single week, and he is consistently so good for us. I mean, the only goals he lets in are like defensive errors, and then he's kind of just exposed. But other than that, he's best positioned goalkeeper in one-on-one situations. He's a fantastic shot stopper, and he doesn't make particularly miraculous saves because he's always so well positioned, and he can score as well. So I think that's pretty.
Louis, I think he's one of the things I really like about Alisson. He's a very understated goalkeeper. He's quite an old school goalkeeper in the sense that if you see a lot of the saves that he makes that don't make the highlights packages, it's because he hasn't made a meal out of them, right? So we all know the kind of shots where you think it looks great, that save looks really good, right? But but in reality, I don't want to go Roy Keane here, but it's his job, and you know that. Okay, you know what? 9 times out of 10, most professional goalkeepers are going to save that shot, and what you'll see Alisson do is he'll tip the ball over the bar, but he won't do that dramatic dive onto the floor. He'll just stay on his feet because that's the most efficient way for him to just get the ball out of play. So the thing I like about him is that I think that kind of confidence and calmness is projected onto his back four. He's not an erratic goalkeeper. He's not going to do anything crazy, anything spectacular. He'll just keep the ball out of the net. And as Louis said, he's one-on-one. Hands down, for me, he's the best in the world one-on-one. His positional sense. I'm always a bit kind of skeptical about saying who's the best player in the world in a particular position. For me, all I'm interested in is he elite, and is he without question top 3? For me, he clearly is.
Well, he is the best in the world, though.
He is, yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
That's the
Okay,
end of me trying to be
yeah.
reasonable here.
yeah. I'm trying to throw that all out of the window, but he is the best goalkeeper in the world for me. I mean, he just is.
Yeah, it's hard
So-
to argue the
Case closed,
composure.
case closed.
Yeah, fair enough.
I think this is the position that there's no nailed on answer, right back, because I mean it would have been Trent before he left. Questions asked of his defensive side, maybe
Yep.
at points, but overall best footballer out of I mean, probably in the right back position in the world, just all around baller. And to, I'm interested to hear who you guys put forward here, because obviously Ben White a couple of years ago you would have put him forward. Maybe now you're thinking Timber.
Yeah,
Timber.
Yeah.
I got to say, for all of us, Timber's composure on the ball as well, defensive ability and his ability to carry the ball forward, and resist pressure, fantastic. So
And he's scoring goals as well now.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Scoring goals, right?
We didn't know that we had
little brace, didn't know.
it was in his locker, but
Yeah.
he's got it at his disposal now.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's true.
I think Louis is right in the sense that the right back position, because with Liverpool, we've got a new player in Frimpong who's untested in the
Injured
Premier
now.
League. Conor Bradley, again, fairly newish. He's come through the academy, so he's not proven yet in the Premier League. He's got a great future ahead of him if he
Agree.
carries on
Yeah.
the trajectory that he's on, stays injury free, because that is a bit of a concern with that player. So I'd say that position for us, I wouldn't expect us to have the best right back in this position between the two teams. I'm happy to concede the right back.
Yeah, I would as well, but I do think. I mean, we were obviously sceptical about who's going to be playing right back for Liverpool this season, and we still don't know if Bradley will start against Arsenal. It's quite an interesting.
Actually, can I backtrack on this now? The best one
Go on.
is actually Bioniq Szoboszlai. So he's
Oh
better.
yeah, actually, you make a great point. He was terrific against Newcastle. I might actually start him against Arsenal if he continues like that.
I think there's a big possibility he'll start because Frimpong's out, and Conor Bradley has been injured. He's playing his way into fitness, and I'm not sure whether Arsenal is the game where you want to say, right, take that match fitness from 60 now to 80%. I think that you would go with a experienced professional who's got a really good engine on him and who can play a lot of positions, and that is Bioniq Szoboszlai, and then maybe bring Bradley on with maybe after 60 minutes, 65 minutes, something like that.
Yeah, I don't think he'll play the entire match. I think he may start, but he'll be brought off after like 65, 70 minutes, and we'll see what happens there. But anyway, I'm happy to concede Timber to you guys. Now, this is an interesting one, centre back, because I'm interested to see which one of your two centre backs you would leave out for Van Dijk.
I mean, Van Dijk is just that. Yeah, there's no argument there.
It's very
He's
true.
in there.
Genuinely is no argument.
Yeah.
But it's
Seasoned
Saliba
veteran.
or is it Gabriel?
Gabriel.
As in keeping Gabriel in or leaving him out?
Keeping him in.
Fair enough.
I can understand why you say that, Craig, because he's really pulled off some unbelievable games during the course of the last 2 seasons. But again, I can vouch for Saliba, but that's just such a headache.
Saliba was a bit dodgy towards the end of last season, in my opinion.
Yeah, true. He had a few howlers, yeah.
And I didn't know he had that in him because he's one of those players that you sort of rely on as your last man back. It's like,
and someone
thank
who's
God
always
we have
been
him.
consistent as well.
I mean, I think what I'd say for Gabriel is he offers so much in the box and corners as well.
True.
Like, he always gets his head on it and he always scores. And I don't think Saliba has that as much. Not to say he's not great at corners, like going forward.
No, of course, I get you.
But Gabriel is a different level. I mean, imagine that. Imagine crossing a ball into the box and it's either Gabriel or Van Dijk.
That's a good point, actually.
Yeah, true.
That's a very good point.
But I'm not saying this is just a hypothetical, Levin. I don't want to sway you too much.
Yeah, no. I mean, I was just thinking in terms of VVD, it's like, where do you usually like to see him? Because I saw him as that left-sided centre-back, which is why I took him outside for Gabriel's position. I thought, well, naturally, then you pair him with who's usually on the right side for us, and that's Saliba. So I had it as VVD Saliba pairing.
So did I.
Jamie, it's on you.
Oh,
Yeah.
I would have gone for VVD Konate had it not been for the fact that the real Ibrahima Konate has clearly been abducted and is been held against his will somewhere, and this fake Ibrahima Konate has come in.
Shocking Newcastle.
Yeah.
Signed from Timu or something like that. And he's just been an absolute disaster.
His head's in Madrid.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
He do another Trent.
Yeah, literally.
I could be PSG. My money's on PSG. Yeah, hometown club. I think.
Fair enough. That would make sense. Yeah.
So I would go for VVD and Saliba, partly because I cannot stand Gabriel. And you know what? Another player I can't say is Gabriel Jesus. I don't know if it's that name, but it's just like I'm watching the game and I will sneeze and either Gabriel Jesus or Gabriel will fall down holding their face. It's so annoying. It's so annoying. So for me it's Saliba and VVD.
Fair. Yeah, same here.
All right, we're happy to move on. Sorry, Craig. You've been very quickly shut down there with that.
Craig looks like he's going to throttle me, I'm telling you. I'm just waiting for him to explode. He's just
fuming,
building up.
Oh, yeah. Just fueling him up at this point.
Wow.
All right, left back. Are we saying Mr. Alexander Zinchenko is...
Please, how dare you even mention that?
Then again, I'm only assuming you've said it because you just want to make his kids happy, because I know, like, obviously, in an interview, he came out saying that his kids were really disappointed that he wasn't playing. I get it. But, no, left back.
Crying again.
Yeah.
How unusual for him.
Sorry.
Imagine Arteta telling him he's on the bench and he just bursts into tears again. It's so infuriating. You can't rely on someone like that. So for me, I would put Andy Robertson ahead of any of those.
I think Robertson above Kirkez at the moment, in my opinion.
Yeah, Kirkez has got to find his feet. He's, he's young. He's taken a big step up from Bournemouth. And every kind of mistake is going to be highlighted in the way that it wasn't at Bournemouth. So, but I think long term, I think he's definitely the future. But overall, I'd still put Andy Robertson ahead of him. If there was a big game, if there's a Champions League final, I'm going Andy Robertson.
Yeah, I mean, you guys will probably put forward Calafiori, won't you?
Yeah.
He's been having a pretty solid season so far.
Yeah.
It's either him or MLS. If MLS has started the last two games, I'd probably put MLS in there. But I think Ricky's older, taller.
You've got to remember, whoever's playing on that left side comes up against Salah as well.
Yeah. True.
Whoever's on that left side is literally coming face forward with Salah. And I mean, look, jokes aside, if you're putting Zinchenko in straight away.
No, not again. Not after what happened last time.
Minute one, pocketed. That's it.
That FA Cup game. Oh no!
Oh, don't.
Salah made it look like
I'd go
Salah made it look like Zinni wasn't even there. It was horrible.
Oh,
Calafiori, to be fair, I remember saying this on the podcast last season. Is I really, really wanted Liverpool to go in for him. Because I just think that I think he just would have been perfect because he's a left-sided defender who can play centre back and left back.
Yeah,
and that kind of versatility is just so important in the Premier League because the games come thick and fast, right? The intensity of the games, the footballing schedule. So you need players who can play in different positions to kind of shake things up, to give players a rest, and to keep their rhythm going as well. I just think he's one of those players. I think he's going to get better and better, and he's quite He's not a player that opposition teams or fans think, oh yeah, he's a great player, really want him in the team. But I think if you ask Arsenal fans and if you ask his teammates, he's a massive part of that defence. Massive.
Yeah. Provided he stays injury-free, he is so key. And when he got injured for a fair chunk of last season, I mean, it was great that we saw MLS step in, and he done really well. But it was that presence, it was the intimidating presence of Calafiori that
the height.
it was so good.
That said, he
on,
can be privy to a few defensive howlers. So I feel that giving him another season to develop as well. I absolutely do think Calafiori would be phenomenal for us as well. He's had an amazing start to this season, but I still think back to a few games last season where defensively, he can be a little rash. I look at that Sporting game where lost his man for us to concede the only goal. I look at the West Ham game where Wan-Bissaka just unbelievable, lost his man halfway through. Like Calafiori wasn't even there too. So I really do feel that Cala's defensive game could use some work, but I really do trust him, and I feel there was a little bit more development. Absolute staple for the club, so agree.
But that was his first season last season, wasn't it?
Yeah, it's true.
Yeah. So you've got to put that into consideration as well.
He's only going to get better.
Yeah, true.
I'm just wondering for you guys, would you put MLS straight into the England team at left back?
Or now?
To an extent.
Yeah, right now.
If it's the England squad, I feel like, left back's been a position they've been missing for quite some time. So I feel right now there's not too many decent alternatives.
Who's his competition?
You've got Lewis Hall there, who's still great. That's who I'd put in straight
Lewis
away.
Hall,
he is very good. Yeah, he's very good. But he's in there. He's in there with a shout, isn't he? He's one
definitely.
Of those. Yeah, he's in there with a shout.
I'd say. Tyrick Mitchell's quite underrated as well, but he's just hot and cold when he's not injured, essentially. So I'd still put Hall over him, and I'd still put Robertson over him. So that's that left back position sorted. Did you like that transition there? Yeah, you like that one. Okay, we'll go into. I think we can agree that this is a 4-2-3-1 or 4-2-1-3, whatever you want to call it. So two holding midfielders, one cam, and three up front. So I think this is quite nailed on for me as well. I'd put Rice and I'd put McAllister. I think Gravenberch it's harsh on him to miss out, but I mean he's against McAllister, who is so good at sort of taking a hold of the game, and he has got one lethal shot on him as well. He also took corners for us last season as well, and I at this moment in time I'm putting him over Gravenberch. Also, he plays almost all of our games as well, straight on the team sheet.
I think it's an interesting one, especially when you've got a kind of double pivot in midfield. A lot of it is based on that relationship with that other player, and so you might on the surface say Declan Rice over Gravenberch, but there are certain things that Gravenberch does that Rice cannot do, and that he excels in.
His transition.
His transitional play, the way that he turns defense into attack, turning away from an opposition player and then just kind of gliding through and setting up attacks. It's a difficult one. I think Rice is probably edges it. For me, purely because I think he's got more experience in that position, whereas Gravenberch is essentially an attacking midfielder converted into a defensive midfielder.
Yeah.
And last season was a revelation, really. No, I don't think any of us called it that Gravenberch would be playing in that double pivot. It's only because we couldn't get a defensive midfielder in and slot. Great shout from him to put him next to McAllister. But for me, McAllister is one of the best midfielders in the world. So if you put him next to Rice, not bad.
It's crazy because when McAllister was at Brighton, he was a number 10 as well.
Yeah.
And when Gravenberch was at Ajax in his best days, he was a number 10. So you've kind of got these two holding midfielders who are so good at going forward that they're really hard to get off the ball. And when you've got that explosiveness going forward, I think that's something that Rice lacks. But what Rice is unbelievable at is holding onto the ball. He just doesn't give it away. And he's also got one hell of a right foot on him as well. So I'm wondering from your side, is there anything that you'd change?
Yeah, it's a tough one.
I generally kind of agree. It's such a headache because you've got potentially Zubamendi. Zubamendi could be a fair shout, but again, It's only been really early days for Zubimendi.
Yeah, I want seasoned
Zubimendi.
veterans in this one.
Yeah.
Does it still hurt?
I'm still annoyed at him in the same way that I'm still annoyed at Lavia and Caicedo. It's just
I was going to say, who's this Zubimendi chap?
Yeah.
The name rings a bell, but the name rings a bell. I don't know.
Someone had to drop the Z-bomb.
Yeah,
Someone had to drop the Z-bomb.
You'll find out on Sunday who Zubimendi is.
Ooh,
we'll see how he fares against Florian Verts. I'm looking forward to that one.
Back pocket.
Fair enough.
Wait, Jesse, I wanted to see, did you put Gravenberch or McAllister?
In the combined 11?
Yeah,
McAllister.
Or did you put both of them ahead of
No,
Rice?
I in terms of a duo, I'm going to go for Gravenberch and McAllister. For me, it's a no-brainer.
So Rice doesn't get in?
No, because what's he done? He's a good player, but you're talking about the pivot that won the league title. So they are, by definition, by default, they are the best two holding midfielders in the country.
They're trying so hard to stay composed at the moment.
You might have players in the back pocket, but we'll take a Premier League winners medal instead.
Oh,
it's true. He hasn't won any titles with
one day.
Is that 1-1? Is that an equaliser?
Them words could come back to haunt you one day. Maybe in May.
Maybe in
I'll be
May.
done by then, mate.
I mean, listen, it's an incline. You used to be known as the team that always finishes fourth. Now you're just the team that always finishes second.
It's all right. That'll change this year.
Yeah.
I look forward to it. So we actually haven't got a definitive. We haven't actually got an actual answer on Rice, McAllister, and Gravenberch yet. So I want to hear from your side because I'm saying Rice and McAllister.
I'm saying McAllister and Gravenberch, 100%.
Fair enough. Originally, I had Rice and Graven, only because I know McAllister wasn't fit at the moment. But I said, if we can do it where it's like, yeah, everyone's fine, then I kind of agree with that pairing too. I do want to see two seasoned Premier League veterans side by side and a double pivot. And I think I've got to give it to that. Rice has got fantastic defensive capabilities, but I also have always loved Alexis McAllister as a player. So I kind of do agree with that pairing. I'll put them two in the middle.
So you're ditching Rice?
Oh, no, I'm saying Rice, but also I'm ditching Zubi. There we go. But that's who I'm ditching. Yeah.
I'm amazed Zubimendi's name has been brought
you've
up.
Made their night now. You've said that.
Yeah. But only for now. But I think it's just because I go complete combined 11. I go, yeah. For a lot of the new signings, I do feel maybe a couple seasons. You can establish that you're familiar with the league and all of these kind of difficulties. So I go, I can't put Zubi in there right now. Even though it would be hilarious. But I said, no. I'm agreeing. I go Rice and McAllister for the double pivot. That's my choice.
We'll go Rice and McAllister. And now we've got, this is the one that I've really struggled with, is the number 10. Because you've got Odegaard and you've got Florian Verts. And we all know Florian Verts is absolutely world class. I mean, we saw him win the league with Leverkusen. I'm sorry, I don't think you realise how crazy that is. Winning the league with Leverkusen is just and undefeated.
Yeah,
I think if this was an NBA podcast, Odegaard 100% gets in there. But if in terms of football, I think it's Verts. And for that gag went over a lot of people's heads, but obviously. Was it last season?
Yeah, I remember. Yeah, I tried to ignore it.
No, you can't ghost that gag. Come on.
You slipped, I swear.
Don't mention slips to Liverpool fans, all right, please.
Hey, don't worry. The title will slip away from you again this season. There we go.
You say it every year, and
no Stevie Gerrard needed.
We don't need Stevie, mate.
I'm going Verts as well, but I love Odegaard as a player.
Hmm.
Do you know what it
wanna
is for
hear from you
me?
guys.
I think back to last season with Odegaard, and I still stand clear with Odegaard. Like if he had a good season last season, I think he would have been in with a shout.
Yeah.
But it's
you're
last
basing it
season that
off-
puts me off. It's just
Yeah.
his performance last season puts me off.
Jamie, what is it about in terms of with Arsenal fans? What is it about Odegaard that is there like a frustration in terms of his performances? How do you guys? Because it's always opposition fans can always just look at it very kind of one dimensionally, but you guys see them week in week out. What are his strengths and what are the things that kind of frustrate you as a player?
Do you know what? Not a lot of people. The one thing I find is so many people still praise Odegaard as a great player, and let's not get that twisted. He is a good player. He's a great player in my opinion, but I still can't stop thinking back to last season, and not many people speak about last season. Everyone just kind of, it's like everyone's papered over the crack of last season, and I'm like, no. We've really got to show here that Odegaard did not do great last season. I know he got injured, and I completely understand that, but it's like since he's come back from injury, everyone's kind of forgotten about the poor season he had last year.
Okay, but I said if you base it based on that, Jamie, then I go, understandably, last season was not a great one for Odegaard. That injury seemed to shatter his confidence. He looked like at times he was afraid of being, injured again. He didn't look great. But the season before, you've got so many standout Odegaard performances. Like, remember the Chelsea 5-0 at the Emirates?
Yeah, of course, absolutely.
That's what I mean. 8 chances created. Odegaard was having an absolute masterclass. If we can get that Odegaard back, then absolutely. He's always got a place in the team. The issue with it is its inconsistency. I think his strengths are his football IQ, his vision, his scanning, and his ability to thread through the key pass at the right time. Not to mention the little kind of play which him, Ben White and Saka usually have, where they make a little triangle, on that kind of right-hand side. Yeah, usually that creates so many chances and so many moments where there's a little flick on, and then Saka's probably through and on goal. On his day, Odegaard's phenomenal. The problem has been last season, and even maybe some, shines of this season too. He looks better this season, but I think we're all worried about the inconsistency. So if it comes down to who's going to be in the 10, I think, it is a question. Odegaard on his day, I rate him. I want to put him there. But I feel that maybe last season, we got to look at the season before too. Are we getting 6 out of 10 Odegaard, or are we getting 10 out of 10 Odegaard?
Yeah.
I think on his day, I rate Odegaard every time.
When you say inconsistency, do you mean in terms of the big games? Because I've heard a criticism that he doesn't, like, he'll perform on the kind of, I don't want to say he's a flat track bully. Well, that is what I'm saying.
Wow.
But then on the big games, he doesn't really have the same impact. Is that what you guys as Arsenal fans, is that what you see, or is that not? Have I not characterized that right?
I think definitely last season, yes, he ghosted in so many big games. But again, as I mentioned, that season before, there were many big games in which he did show up. I think, it's just last season, it was even the smaller games, whether it was a big game, you could tell confidence is not really there. He was very shaky. He became a 6 out of 10 player, and there were many times where I thought it might be better even to sub him last season. But you had to worry, is Mikel thinking about the optics of subbing the captain halfway through a game, even when he deserves to? There are many times where he played longer than I think he needed to, and I thought maybe he needed rotating. But can Odegaard disappear, or can he ghost in some big games? Last season, absolutely, but he can show up too. I just feel that right now he needs that confidence. He needs to find that form, and I'd like to see what he can bring to the table this season, because I feel that this season we're going to get a very different Odegaard to what we got last. But of course, I know for Jamie especially, the scars of last season run deep.
Clearly.
I feel that last season, especially at Anfield, he had a good shot for equalising goals. So he can turn it on when he wants to turn it on as well.
True.
So I wouldn't put it past him to put a good performance in. So all good players go through bad spells. So that's how it happens in football.
It's interesting what Rodney you mentioned about him being captain, and maybe Arteta being a bit kind of wary about hooking him because he is the captain. I see that as one of the downsides of having an attacking player as your captain, because they're the ones who are more susceptible to a dip in form, because they're the ones who've got to create something magical to win a game, right? Whereas, if you've got a holding midfielder, I'm not saying it's an easy position. It's a massive position in the team, right? But there's a level of consistency that a holding midfielder kind of produces week in, week out, and even like a centre back. And so I was surprised that Arteta didn't give the captaincy to one of the centre backs, or maybe a Declan Rice, someone who's a solid leader in the middle of the park, as opposed to it. It would be the same as Liverpool, maybe giving it to Verts in a couple of years' time. I just don't see that as I'm not a big fan of like your best creative player being your captain, because I just don't think that's what the role is.
But then again, also at the start of this season, the players voted for their for the captaincy,
which I don't
and
agree with.
everyone, Odegaard won it by a country mile.
Yeah, I don't like that system. That's a Guardiola thing.
You think
I
it's
don't
just
like
objective decision by the manager?
It should be the manager.
Yeah.
Look, I'm the
it should
manager.
be.
Yeah, he's my captain. That's it. Like it or lump it.
Or maybe it could be like what they do at Liverpool, where it's a sort of committee, like players, all sorts of the ones at the very top. They all kind of create this sort of leadership committee.
Yeah.
So obviously Trent was vice captain before he left, and then you had Robertson, you had Salah. I think you had Alisson in that committee as well.
Alisson, Van Dijk's in there. Yeah.
And then I think that was either created by Henderson or Milner, and then once they left, it was sort of between them. But I do think overall the best thing to do is the manager decides, and it's based on what I've heard, and this is an eye opener for me because I'm not that tuned into Arsenal's sort of team within the team, but I do think it should just be manager decides based on what they see in training and who's the leader, who's the most commanding, and then it just goes based on that. And I think the one that I'd see being the captain is Rice.
Yeah, we hear that a lot. And
he commands it.
That's what Gabriel for me. Out of them two.
Yeah.
Rice or one of the centre backs. Really, they're for me the natural kind of lead. I mean, they're the captain without having the armband, really, aren't they?
Yeah.
So we're going Verts at number 10 based on what we've just said. Sorry to get back to the task at hand, guys.
I think we strung you along quite well there, like let's trash Odegaard for the next 10 minutes. And then it's like, well, it's got to be Verts then, isn't it?
Well, no, that said, we have another option now, because so now that Eze's in the team as well. I said, there's
I forgot about Eze.
Yeah, I forgot
He's
about
a
that.
great player, but he's not on the level of the other two. But I do really rate Eze as a player. I love him.
He has also caused havoc against Liverpool on
that's true.
quite a few occasions for Palace. So
known to make you suffer.
I think this could be a huge signing for Arsenal. I really do. I think he's the kind of player. He's got the skill, but he's got the physique as well. There's something about certain players, the way they move. The strength. It's not a kind of an overt kind of strength. He's not like some kind of powerhouse. But he's not easy to knock off the ball. He's very skillful on the ball, even when he's got a couple of players around him. And I just think that he's a player that, depending on how Arteta integrates him into this team, I think he could be a transformative player. And I think he's the kind of player that can guarantee Arsenal another second place finish.
No. I'm not having that. I'm not having that. No.
Yeah, that's outrageous.
Maybe the League Cup as well. But no. Seriously, I think he's a quality player, and they've really, really signed just a quality talent.
Yeah, agreed. We're very excited to see what he does this weekend against you. So,
Right. Do we really need to debate the right wing?
No, let's move on.
It's a bit of a tough ask. Yeah.
I know it hurts you lot because you love your star boy, but
no, that's true. We saw what Salah did last season.
Yeah, exactly.
Salah.
At what, 34? And he was putting in a performance like that last season. Yeah. If there's no drop off, absolutely, it's Salah every time.
It's just it's crazy. It's so crazy to me that he's being ignored in these Ballon d'Or shouts. By the way, because it's
literally
everything I see is just Rafinha, Yamal, and Dembele with hints of Vitinha in there. Like, how is he above Salah? So anyway, I
that's a bit
wanted to get that
ridiculous.
off my chest. Striker's an interesting one now because you've got Gyökeres who's just come into Arsenal. And you've got Ekitike and looking more like Isak. I mean, if Isak had already signed, I'm putting him straight in. But
absolutely.
That hasn't happened yet. So now we're having to talk about Ekitike versus
He's in the
Gyökeres.
Uber as we speak. He's in the Uber as we speak.
And he hasn't spoken to the Newcastle people about it. He's just doing it on his own. So yeah, anyhow. So I want to put Ekitike just based on what I've seen so far. But I feel like that's really disrespectful to Gyökeres based on what he did at Sporting. So that's where I'm at the moment.
I think it's a toss-up between the two because they're both new in the league. You know, the only kind of thing we've got to judge them on is their performances in leagues overseas, right? So, and they both had good starts to the Premier League, right? They both scored. They're both up and running. So I think it's a toss-up. I mean, obviously, as a Liverpool supporter, I'll go for Ekitike, but I'm not going to be hugely offended if you guys go for your man.
I think Gyökeres.
I mean, it's a headache. I mean, it is a real headache because
this
again,
one really is tough. Yeah,
they've both, Ekitike's really hit the ground running. Like he's really kind of just integrated himself into that Liverpool team really well. And with Gyökeres, took him a little bit of time to kind of integrate. But last weekend against Leeds, I said it to the boys last week. All Gyökeres needs is one goal just to boost his confidence, and the fact that now he's gone and done that, I think he could go on to do. I think he could go on to do really well in the Premier League now. But it's still such a difficult choice to make between the two.
Because I don't think we really expected this from Ekitike. We didn't. I mean, his Bundesliga numbers weren't actually that impressive, and we all thought, well, it was Marmoush who was the key to him, but he's really done well, and he's sort of like in that Firmino role where he's he's not an out and out striker. He comes back and he helps and links up play as well. And I didn't know he had that side of this game in him, but
I didn't realize
he does
how
that
tall
and
he
he
was.
scores.
Yeah,
he is.
I didn't realize how tall he was.
He
was only at set pieces next to Van Dijk. I thought, he's quite big.
I think him having better players helps him as well.
I'm saying Ekitike. I'm saying Ekitike.
Yeah, you're going Ekitike. Fair enough. I can see it. I think I want to pick Victor on this one only because I think what I saw in that Man United game, which a lot of people criticise the performance for, there was a lot of decent runs into that box, but they weren't being seen. So I think if you surround him with players that can see those runs, pick him out and then send him a ball through over the top or ball to feet, I think he will. And I think he's a better finisher than Ekitike. I think that at the points his positioning and his shot placement is so good you can get away with it. But I do trust Gyökeres, absolutely clinical finisher, and that physical profile in the box to just bully a defender, even if you're in front of him, behind him, to the side. I think I'm just going to give it to Gyökeres, but it really does depend on who's just behind him and who's either side of him on the wings.
Ekitike can finish too, though. He's got a really good shot on him.
He does have a decent shot. But
Jamie,
it's a good point, Rodney, you made about the movement. Because, that's something that, and you Arsenal fans will know, that you've been crying out for an out-and-out number 9 who makes these kinds of runs, who's in those kind of areas that are number 9, that kind of space that they occupy, as opposed to a kind of a false 9, a kind of Havertz kind of player who comes in maybe late into the box. So it's going to be interesting to see how he impacts that Arsenal team. And whether that kind of massively changes their style, whether that's a good thing for them, whether that's a bad thing for them. But I think you're right. I think his movement is really good.
Fair enough.
Jamie for the deciding vote. Because we've all said our say, and he's
again. I think for me, Gyökeres just he leans it for me because movement, his presence. Rodney kind of just said it there, to be fair. It's just, he's so good overall. And I just think this is the start. This is just the start of it. But don't get me wrong, Ekitike, I mean, what a player he is.
This is the first time that I've ever had a conversation with another player where we can't decide and we just keep on complimenting the other player the entire time.
True.
This is my opinion, but I don't mind yours.
Yeah.
And for the deciding one, this is quite interesting again because
On
you've
the
got
left.
Gakpo there, and
Yeah.
I think Gakpo was the best left winger in the league last season. But
Mm.
Trossard
Said
is
this to
good,
Rodney, didn't I?
but now you can also sort of maybe put Eze on the left
Yeah,
because
you
he can
can.
play there.
He can.
Forget all of them. Rio
Yes,
comes in.
yes,
and
Rio.
What?
He's had the most.
You're joking.
Aren't they?
He's had
Have
the
you
most
ever seen a
this season.
16-year-old with that much tech?
He's
I
the
doubt you
last
have.
player that's had the impact that Rio's had this season.
Clutch. He's a proven clutch player.
He not only got us 3 points at St James's Park. Rumor is that he bought Isaac in the back of the car as well. on the way home. Yeah.
I don't think he can drive yet, Jesse.
Probably not yet. That's true. Yeah, it was a school night as well. I think, wasn't it? No, it was.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure.
It was
probably
Monday
not.
night. Yeah. Left wing. I think if Luis Diaz was here, I think it would be even more stiff competition.
Yeah.
'Cause
I'd put
Yeah.
Gakpo
Diaz-
over Diaz.
Yeah, because that complement of Diaz and Gakpo, very different players. Gakpo's someone who's more likely to kind of cut inside, whip in a cross or take a shot. Diaz, his dribbling ability was absolutely just ridiculous. Just
Phenomenal.
absolutely
so
amazing.
Amazing in tight
dribbling ability.
spaces. Switching direction so quickly as well.
Yeah, I'd still say
back.
Gakpo is the strongest in terms of his all-round game and his all-round contribution. I think Trossard is okay. I don't see him as an elite player. I think he's a very good professional footballer in the Premier League, and there are many of those. But I think that he's just one of those players that he's in the squad. He can do a job, but he's not a player that Arsenal are going to look to lead them to a title win or a Champions League win or anything like that. And so just by default, it takes him out of the equation. And I still think that Gakpo overall, in terms of his physical presence, his ability to score goals and crucial goals as well, and his assists, I think he's the strongest. He might not be the quickest out of all of the wingers that you traditionally have, but I think he's the most effective.
I'm not going to put that question. Come out, anyone?
Yeah,
I hate it.
nodding in agreement. I mean,
I hear
Jesse,
it.
that was immense.
I think his case closed there. I think the
You
judge
make
has
it good.
already slammed the hammer down. And said,
But I did want to throw
Make
Eze
it so.
into the conversation as well
Yeah.
because he can play on the left, but it's
Yeah,
also
'cause I
not
was
his
gonna
best
say-
position.
Yeah, it's not his best position, but if we're still running the starting 11 with Calafiori at left back, Calafiori can have those overlapping runs, allowing Eze to cut inside. Not to mention, if you got Gyökeres up top, at Palace, Eze was picking out Mateta, picking out those runs easily, and then whipping those balls in. So I do feel that Eze is probably a pretty solid shout. But the thing about Cody Gakpo is I've always loved watching him play as well. I mean, he can shoot from range.
Yeah.
I've seen him score from like the tightest of angles as well, cutting inside. He's an amazing player. Like I've always been a fan. So it's a tough.
He's
it's a tough
like
call.
an inverted Robben, and I'm not just saying that because he's Dutch, but I'm saying that because you know what he's going to do, and you can't stop him. He's going to cut in, and he's going to either whip in one of those wonderful crosses he has to Salah, or he's just going to go far post, and he hits it emphatically, and what I love about him is just a professional. He's not going to be involved in any kind of scandal. He's just a guy who loves playing football, gets on with it, and loves God.
There you go. We've
Yeah.
sealed it. You can't get any higher authority than that, right? So it's
Yeah.
Cody Gakpo.
Jamie Craig, you agree? Gakpo as well, yeah.
I mean, look, at the end of the day, I think back. I look back at last season with Cody Gakpo. I mean, phenomenal.
Yeah, he's too
phenomenal
good.
last season.
And it's funny, when Gakpo, when we first signed him, he had a really slow start.
He did, yeah.
Under Jurgen Klopp, because he wasn't played in that wide left position. He was kind of played centrally, kind of attacking midfield, and a false nine position. And he just looked really out of sorts. But as soon as Slot came in, he just said to him, "Right, this is your position, and we're not moving you from this, right? You're going to be out on the left. And since then, and also I think his fitness as well, he's really kind of been brought up to speed in terms of the Premier League. Because, you can see even with Verts, the first couple of games, there have been instances where he's been on the ball and it's almost like he dilly-dallies a bit, which, it's the time that you'd be given in the Bundesliga to look up, have a think, see where you're going to play the pass. Here, it's just like you got a second and then boom, you've got two defenders on you. So I think Gakpo has benefited from having a season, and now he's really, really come into his own now.
So I think that's it for the starting 11.
Pretty much it, yeah.
But we can finish it with this.
Are we picking the manager?
Manager. And I have seen Arteta's team talks, and I know who I'm going for. I'll leave it with you guys.
It's game over. It's like, come on, really, seriously. Do we even have
also,
to debate?
who's the more likable person? We have to take that into account.
Wow.
Oh dear.
It's tough because I like
a bunch
Mikel.
of defeated men.
It's tough because I love Mikel, I really do. But there's something quite funny about Arne Slot walking into the Liverpool side and winning the league in his first season.
Yeah.
There's something quite funny about that without doing anything at all.
Yeah, we're not signing
a little bit of money. Yeah, a little bit of money on Chaser, and that's it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Who barely played, and then there you go.
And everyone calling him the next Ten Hag when he came in as well.
Nothing wrong with that.
Yeah.
So Slot is manager. We got Alisson in goal, Timber at right back, two centre backs, Gabriel and Van Dijk. We've got left back. We gave it to Robertson, didn't we? And two holding midfielders. We've gone for Rice and McAllister. We've gone for Verts as the number 10. We've gone for Salah on the right. We've gone Gyökeres up front, and we've gone Gakpo on the left. That is a lovely bit of Liverpool domination, and we know who's going to win on
manager Arne Slot.
and Arne Slot in manager. So now we know who's going to win on Sunday. Do we really need to do the rest of this podcast?
We'll see about that.
We do need to do the rest of this podcast. I know that this could have been a podcast on its own with the amount of time we've spent talking about this combined 11, but I would love to get into this sort of Arsenal focus and then a bit of Liverpool focus. And then we can end it with some predictions. This is going to be the latest anyone's gone into an ad on GSPN. We have got our sponsor that we have finally managed to get to. Find out where you can get all your supplements from right now.
Your body is unique. And Global Sports Podcast Network has partnered with Bioniq, the world's most personalised supplements. Bioniq provide 100% tailor-made supplements designed to deliver precisely what your body needs at exactly the right levels to optimise your health. No guessing. So click the link in the show notes. Use the code GSPN 2025 for 40% off your first month's subscription. Bioniq. Don't settle for off-the-shelf solutions made for just anybody. Get what's right for you right now.
Okay, so let's talk a little bit about Arsenal. Obviously, Rodney, I'll come to you, and if you want, you can sort of lead this. But I did want to start off with this. Obviously, the main factor is Arsenal's right-wing position. Saka's out. The talks are all about Madueke, but obviously Nwaneri can also be very good on the right-hand side. What do you think is the right way to approach this game if you're Mikel Arteta with the right-wing position?
I think you've got to leave it to Noni Madueke as well, especially when you look at the performance against Leeds too. When Saka came off early and then you saw Madueke play on that right wing, he was looking quite solid. He looked far more comfortable than in the games I'd seen earlier with the left wing. So I think Noni's got to start there, and then you've got to see what happens later. Later in the game, you do have that option to kind of rotate with Nwaneri, but I'd rather see Noni play the whole game. More experienced, older player as well. We'll see what happens there. I think the difficulty is going to be what you do about the Odegaard position, because I think Odegaard, he's still got the shoulder injury. He's likely not going to be fit for that game. So there's debate as to whether you want to put Eze there or if you want to put Easton there instead and have Eze out on the left wing, or if you want to put Eze there and run Martinelli on the left wing as well. Again, because it's going up to Anfield, always a very tough game to go with. I sort of want to lead with some of the older, more experienced players. I might want to put Eze in a position where he's more comfortable. He's used to playing a 10, albeit on the left side. This time he'd be on the right. We'll see. Maybe you can rotate that round. And then you probably have maybe Martinelli functioning more as a touchline winger. And as we know, Martinelli loves to turn up against Liverpool. So yeah, hopefully he'll give you some grief. That's it.
Can I ask you guys about the Saka situation?
Go on.
He had quite a significant injury last season, and it's the kind of injury that, you know, those players that got a lot of pace, they use a lot of explosive power to get away from other players. We've seen it in the past, because I don't think he kind of I think he actually tore his hamstring. I think it was quite a serious one. He had to have surgery on it.
Yeah.
And I'm just wondering if, you know, I think he's in the final 2 years of his contract now.
Yeah.
I think it's just going to be interesting to see what kind of Saka comes back this season, because I've seen it in the past with players, fast players, Michael Owen, lots of other players who've had hamstring injuries.
Knew you were going to bring up Michael Owen.
And they're just never quite the same, in the sense that not necessarily physically. Physically, that injury might have healed, but there's that kind of psychological damage as well. There's that, can I really kind of accelerate here past this player? And obviously, you know, you don't wish an injury on any player, but I do wonder whether that is something that is a concern for Arsenal and Arsenal fans, because he's a young player. He's played a lot of football, both domestically for Arsenal and for England as well. And it's just a worry, I think, for a young player when he has that kind of injury. Does he come back the same? Is he going to be the same in the next season?
Yeah, I think it's a tough call. You know, I know that this hamstring was the other hamstring as well. And so you can argue that the same situation with Saka also applies to Jesus too. You know, it was one ACL. He just came back from that one. Then it's the other knee too. When Jesus comes back, will he be the same player? Or will that kind of mental kind of fatigue of worrying about another potentially career-ending injury like bother you? We'll have to see. I think for me personally, I was quite happy. I was one of the few Arsenal fans quite happy with the Madueke transfer, because I genuinely did feel the need for having a backup on that right wing that could really take minutes away from Saka. Because when you're looking at that grade 3 hamstring tear that he suffered from last season, it's because he's being overplayed. He's playing 90 minutes against, what was it, Jamie? Was it Bolton? You know,
Yeah,
it was just like games he did not need to play.
Like that.
Yeah, he's playing 90 minutes against Bolton. You know that it's going to be the same thing against your Man United, your Liverpools, your Chelseas, your Man Cities. Again, he's just absolutely crucial. So when he does come back, I like to see him come back as slowly as possible. We need Saka for later in the campaign. Our fixture list is going to be ridiculous. Champions League, Carabao Cup, FA Cup, Premier League as well. If Noni Madueke can just handle that right wing, and we can start to kind of have maybe Saka's coming on at peak fitness, and if he does look sharp, we can have him playing 60, 70 minutes and then rotate and have that regulate. We can maybe maintain the player's confidence, maintain his fitness, and hopefully have a Saka that's, back up to full strength, and hopefully can still have a long and illustrious career, and we don't have another repeat of what's been going on with his hamstrings.
Hopefully you don't play a lot of fixtures this season.
We end up like Man United. Yeah, go out to Port Vale. Yeah. Sorry. Yeah, I don't think that's happening.
We'll see. I mean, we've just seen who we've got in the Champions League. I don't know who you have. I've completely forgotten, but you were in Pot B. All I'm gonna say.
Yeah,
we were in Pot A.
We got Bayern Munich immediately. Yeah.
We've got Real. There will be a cold night in Anfield for him, for Trent Alexander-Arnold.
Yeah. I saw that and I started laughing. I thought, he's got to come back to Anfield. Oh, dude.
Sitting on that bench, really cold.
Yeah. I mean, I know it's a bit of a deviation, But I've got to ask you two right now, like, what do you think about the move in general? Are you upset with Trent, or do you feel the treatment by the Liverpool fans when they found out about the move and he was running his contract down? Do you think that's fair? Because he's done so much for your club, won everything as well. I understand that the way he left wasn't great.
No,
what do you two think?
I don't have a problem with it. I genuinely, I don't have I genuinely don't have a problem with players leaving, because I think there's a massive amount of hypocrisy from everyone in football when it comes to footballers who want to leave a football club and go somewhere else. Trent Alexander-Arnold has been at Liverpool Football Club since he was 8 years old. He has done a clean sweep of football at club level.
Yeah.
He's won
everything with you. Yeah.
Everything that you can possibly win, from the League Cup all the way up to the FIFA Club World Cup. Okay. And everything in between, Champions League, Premier League, FA Cup, everything. He's won everything. So, for me, good luck. He's going abroad. He's not going to a rival. He's not going to Manchester United or Manchester City. He's going abroad to try something new, which most of us as people working in jobs, if we get an opportunity to go somewhere, we'll take it. So I don't have a problem with that, because let me assure you, and all those people who are going on about Alexander Isak, the loyalty. Everyone bangs on about loyalty in football. Well, let me tell you something. There is something called a bomb squad, right? In football, where clubs just put players out to, that we don't want you anymore. Okay, so you're training with the reserves. The minute a football club doesn't want you, they will have no hesitation in selling you or freezing you out until you leave. Right? They'll freeze you out until you leave. Look at Jack Grealish. Look at Raheem Sterling. Right? At Manchester City. These guys wanted to stay. These guys wanted to play football. I mean, even if you look at Liverpool, Steven Gerrard.
Yeah, club legend.
To end his contract, right? Under Brendan Rodgers, they said, well, you know what? You're 35, you're 34 years old. Sorry, thank you very much. So why do we then expect footballers to show a loyalty to a commercial organization who will drop them at the drop of a hat the minute they want to?
Yeah,
the one point I'd make, I know that this is, I know Gerrard did this to us especially in the mid 2000s before we won the Champions League, and then he made the U-turn. It's like all of that, but in general, there is a different expectation of you if you're a Scouser and you're playing for Liverpool. And we've had this conversation so many times before, but there is genuinely like such a tightly knitted community in Liverpool that if you do make it for the first team, there is an expectation that you are going to represent Liverpool, because it's
that's fine, Louis. But does that expectation, which is fan driven, right? It's an expectation from fans. Does that expectation impact in any way the ability of a club to just terminate a player when they want? Because let me tell you, there are loads of Scousers out there, who've come through the academies and they've played for Liverpool, and then they say, well, you know what? Thank you very much. You haven't made the grade. Off you go. Right. So I get what you're saying, and we as supporters, we feel that. We feel a connection with a player that's come through the ranks, and they've grown up with the club, but it still doesn't alter that commercial reality that a football club will terminate a player as and when they see fit. So I don't see why a footballer can't then go to an opportunity when they see fit. So I think that you got to find a happy medium, a balance, where a football club keeps their players happy, they win, and with Trent, because we won everything, I think that it's fine for him to go. I would be more upset if we were Arsenal, when we kept on getting second. Shall I say it again? We kept on getting second. And then a player.
We were letting you two hash it out, and we're just taking strays. That's unbelievable.
I know. I realised that, Rodney. So I thought, I need to steer this. So, in that instance, I would be more devastated. I'd be more angry with the player than with a player that has helped usher in one of the most successful periods for Liverpool Football Club in the modern era.
Yeah, no,
Right? So he's an integral part of that.
I do agree with you on that
respected
point.
for that. He should be respected.
I do agree that he should be respected for that. But I'm just saying I can also understand why many supporters are upset, especially with the fashion that he left. It was on a free, and he ran down his contract to go to Real Madrid.
Why is that on the player? That's
because
on the club. The club 2 years ago should go to Trent Alexander-Arnold and say, Trent, you've been here since you're 8 years old. You are future Liverpool captain. You're potentially future England captain. You've helped us win every single thing in football. Okay, boom. Here's your contract: 350 grand a week, and whatever. 300 grand a week, whatever it is, right? But to say to him, we want you to stay. You are going to be our future Liverpool captain after Van Dijk leaves. There you go. But for that contract situation to drag on, I think that's on the club. That is not on the player.
I agree.
A contract runs down.
I agree.
And if anything, the fashion in which he left is actually the most professional way a footballer can leave a club. He did not say a word. He said to the press, I am not speaking about this situation. I am not speaking about. Nothing came out from him. Nothing came out from his agent. It was silence. And all he did, what did he do? He got on, he played football, and we won the Premier League.
Yeah. Last contribution
you
made.
very much.
That's it. Yeah.
Off you go. Thank you very much. Best wishes. Yeah, we'll give you dog's abuse when you come back, when you play for Real Madrid. But thank you very much.
Should we talk about Sunday, guys?
Let's turn on Arsenal now.
Also, Craig, I don't know if you saw my message in the chat, but I did just put you on mute because there's background noise coming from your side. I don't know if you saw it. So just unmute yourself when you want to speak and mute yourself when you're not speaking. So, yeah, I just wanted to get that out of the way.
Can you mute all of them?
So I think it's time to talk more about this Liverpool team now, because I mean, Jesse, you obviously did the episode with Carl already, which I haven't had the opportunity to listen to yet. I'll let you take the lead on this one.
Yeah, look, I think this is I think it's a big game. I think that it's very early in the season, right? So there's room for kind of dropping points, but I think the way that the Premier League is now, which I think I completely reject a lot of the kind of narrative last season. It's not a very strong league. No, I think it is a very strong league. Just because Manchester City or the top team are not 25 points clear, I think that represents a strong league, because you look at the development that the likes of Bournemouth have made, Crystal Palace, Fulham. There's other than the clubs that have just been newly promoted, there's no club where you think, I fancy a trip to Bournemouth. That's a guaranteed 3 points. I fancy a trip to St James's Park.
Yeah,
it's just those games they just don't exist anymore. So I think that this coming so early in the season, Manchester City have already dropped points. I think that this is a big game now, because I think it's an opportunity for two teams who have won both of their opening games to kind of put down a little bit of a marker before we head into the international break. Arsenal, I think, come in better shape because they're scoring goals. They haven't conceded a single goal. Liverpool are scoring goals, but we're conceding as well. We're kind of, Kevin Keegan 1990s Newcastle, where it's just like, okay, you're gonna score 3, we'll score 4. I don't know whether that's sustainable in terms of a title challenge, but I do think that this is a really interesting contest in the sense that you've got a team that are the Premier League champions, but they are in transition. So it's normally the other way. It's like that you get a team in transition and they slowly build to a title-winning team. We're doing it the other way around. A new manager comes in, he doesn't change anything, he wins the league, and then there's wholesale changes. And I said this at the pre-season pod. Even though there was a lot of kind of press and a lot of kind of media coverage about Liverpool's transfer activity, and it's always positive, isn't it? You spend £100 million on the striker or whatever, everyone's oh yeah, great. But then you actually look at the squad and you think, okay, we're about 2 players short up front. Is it too much instability now in that back line when you've got 2 new fullbacks? Your forward line has radically changed, partly through players leaving, partly through tragedy, and mentioning that as well. I don't think that we should underestimate the kind of impact that will have as the season goes along. The Diogo Jota thing, because he is someone that wasn't just beloved to the fans, and you don't get a chant at Liverpool Football Club very easily. You don't get a song very easily at Liverpool Football Club as a player, and you can be assured that is just amplified massively with the players who go into that dressing room, and where his shirt was hung up, it's just not there anymore. Or if you need a goal, normally Jota the Slotter comes on, and he's not there anymore. So there's that factor as well. So there's a lot going on with Liverpool. There's new players coming in, players leaving, tragedy which just seems to follow the club, and so I think it's a really interesting period. And I think if Liverpool can come out of this period before we go into the international break with 3 wins, and Man City losing a game, and us beating Arsenal, okay, I think it's a really a great platform. I don't know why the Arsenal boys are laughing as if I've said something so outrageous that Liverpool would beat Arsenal. It's like, it's just like completely impossible. But I'm saying if that happens, I think it's I think it's a great foundation for the rest of the season. But obviously you could say the same for Arsenal. If Arsenal go to Anfield and win, they might have a bit of belief that they can do more than second. I don't think so, but they will have that belief.
Damn.
For a little while anyway, until we reach like February, March, and then they kind of collapse again.
Fair enough. No,
but I think tactically though, I think midfield is going to be a massive area.
Yeah.
I think it's going to be because depending on what slot goes for, does he go for Conor Bradley, who's not 100% fit at right back? If that's the case, Arsenal will target that area. They'll target that kind of right back position. If you have Szoboszlai in there, and then you have Verts in midfield, I think that Arsenal will try and dominate that midfield, which is why I think Slot might flood that midfield. He might play a false 9. He might play Jones and Verts, and just have 2 kind of floating wide forwards in Salah and Gakpo, and not even play Ekitike, and bring him on as a second half sub, just to kind of exert that dominance in midfield. Because one of the areas that we've struggled in the first 2 games is that we'll go 2 goals up, and then we're still not in control of the game.
It's like you somewhat take your foot off the gas in a way.
No, I don't think that's true. No, I don't think I've heard that before. It's not that. I don't think that there's a complacency. This is a team that's used to winning leagues, Champions Leagues, the core of it anyway.
Yeah.
So I don't think there's a complacency. What I do think, though, I think there's I wouldn't say a tactical deficiency, but I think it's a tactical kind of side effect of the Arne Slot method as opposed to Jurgen Klopp. And both have their pros and cons. Whereas Jurgen Klopp at 2-0, he's going to say, right, keep going forward, get 3. We're 3-0 up, keep going forward, get 4.
Yeah.
Arne Slot's kind of default is like 2-0, okay, put your foot on the ball now. Not complacency, put your foot on the ball, try and control it. But what happens then is the game inevitably slows down. Liverpool are in possession. They get pushed back by the press, and then the ball goes back to Alisson. Yeah. He will then invariably knock it long, and then you've got a 50-50 whether you're going to lose possession, or he'll switch it out to the defenders, but they're pressed as well. And so the whole team is pressed back, and it just creates more pressure. And then if you concede 1 goal, then you're on the back foot. Then
But it's also strange because while we are hit back by the press, we also have this tendency to just pass our way out of it as well, and then not make very much of it anyway.
But
we've got
the
press-resistant players. Yeah,
no, but I think
I
it's
understand what you mean by the tempo.
So when we're 2-0 up, this tendency to kind of say, okay, let's slow the pace down. But in the Premier
Bring
League,
on Endo.
there are very few teams. Yeah, but there are very few teams who slow things down. Every team, Bournemouth, all the teams will press you aggressively and quickly. And so I just think that the tempo has got to be quicker in possession. So you don't have to go gung-ho. You don't have to go like, flying wing-backs. But you've got to be quick in possession and quick through midfield, as opposed to Jones getting the ball, giving it to McAllister, who gives it to Gravenberch. He looks up and then he gives it back to Alisson. And then, it's route one or out to the fullbacks who are under pressure. So I just think that we've got to move through the lines in midfield a lot quicker, which I thought then we would have done with Verts coming in. And I think that's something that Liverpool have got to develop over the next few games.
Yeah, I mean, we're still yet to see the best of Verts. Everyone knows that. I'm also interested to see if you guys know when the last time was that Liverpool beat Arsenal in the Premier League.
No, he's not.
Mr. Encyclopedia.
3 seasons ago.
Unfortunately, from this point onwards, we did lose Rodney's audio and video. So if it does feel a bit unnatural and a bit weird, you know why. I do apologise for that. I've tried to make it as natural as possible, but obviously it's not 100%.
3 seasons ago. Since Arteta's been manager, I don't think he'd beaten us. I think it wasn't the Chart Community
in the
Shield.
Premier League.
No, in the Premier League. In the Premier League. Just tell me which season it was.
22.
I think it was 20, yeah. I think it was at Anfield as well.
No, it was actually at the Emirates. It was 21-22.
Yeah.
And this is crazy. There are only 1, 2, 3 players in that Liverpool team who are still in the team. We had Thiago, Fabinho and Henderson as our midfield. We had Mane, Jota and Diaz as our front three. And on the bench, the legend, Takumi Minamino.
Wow.
Tavares was on the bench for you lot, as was holding Swanson's Sambi Lokonga, who's still there, and El Neni. Leno was on the bench. Suarez was playing at right back for you lot. Tierney at left back. Lacazette up front. That's how long it's been since Liverpool beat Arsenal.
Like a shocking team, doesn't it?
It's crazy, isn't it? Because this is Liverpool. Liverpool beat everyone, but not Arsenal.
Even with Arsenal, it does actually put into a bit of perspective what Arsenal have done under Arteta in terms of transforming that team and that squad into a squad where you think, oh, I don't want to play these guys. Whereas you listen to those names, in the Arsenal team, you think, yeah, of course they weren't going to win anything, right?
Yeah.
But with it's true. But with the work that's been done under Arteta, I know he gets a lot of stick, and obviously I've been getting with stick as well. But you can't deny that they are a competitive team now, right? They're in the mix now, right? Start of the season, they're in the mix to win the Premier League, and it's just whether they can take that final step. But they are competitive.
True.
Yeah.
True.
And that's
I also realised as well, because going to a point that Rodney kind of mentioned about Calafiori's runs, I feel like it's going to be a battle of the left side for both teams because, if you look at our left side in the likes of Calafiori and say, for example, if it's Martinelli, Martinelli very touch tight to the touch line, will try and take players on. It's not. We've not seen that Martinelli for a little while, since probably 22-23, where he'd have that hunger to take on players, maybe. And where for you, and obviously with Calafiori, if Calafiori goes forward, it'll be a thing where, if he gets exposed out of his position, all it takes is for Salah to then go and run on. Do you know what I mean? And for you guys as well, it's one of them where, again, Konate, he hasn't really found his feet just yet. And same with Kirkez. And I think if Arsenal can try and exploit that side, again, that's why I've always said it will be a battle of the lefts, because once one of the left sides is exposed, it probably will not end well for one of the two sides.
Yeah, definitely, I agree.
So I think this has gone on for quite a while now. I would like the files to upload at some point tonight. So
Before Sunday 4:30, preferably.
So I can get this out. So shall we get some score predictions in? I mean, I personally absolutely hate doing this, and this is a match that is impossible to call anyway. Are any of you brave enough to go first?
3-1.
3-1 to Liverpool.
3-2 Arsenal.
Yeah, 3-1 Liverpool.
3-2 Arsenal, says Craig.
Yeah, I think 1-1. I think Arsenal score first, and then we just
come from
pull
behind.
Away. Yeah, we pull away.
I'm saying 2-2. As much as I'd love a win, it will be a stressful match regardless.
Yeah.
Louie, you predicted 3-2 against Newcastle as well, didn't you?
And I predicted a last-minute winner as well.
You did as well. You did. Yeah, Mystic Louie.
I'm probably going to go 3-2 Arsenal. It's going to be really cagey.
2-3-2 Arsenals. We're going for a high scorer here.
Probably going to be 0-0, isn't it?
No, this game will guarantee us goals. You know,
the way that we're defending, there's going to be goals. Let's just hope that Arteta loses his cool at some point.
Yeah, I would love that. I love an Arteta head loss.
Anfield crowd, and then it's all downhill from there.
So let's end it there, so I can get these files up. Thank you so much, guys. This is genuinely one of my favorite podcasts, if not my favorite podcast episodes I've ever done.
Thank you for having us on.
Yeah,
really enjoyed this.
Brilliant.
Really enjoyed
cheers, guys. You have been listening to the Daily Liverpool and the Daily Arsenal podcasts on the Global Sports Podcast Network. Stay tuned, and we will see what happens on the weekend, and we'll review it. Anything you guys want to plug before we go? No, great. Okay, thanks, guys.
Ready, America. Let's go.
They're plugging the Arsenal. All right. Thanks, guys.
Your daily soccer podcast with the Global Sports Podcast Network.